Next up, it's been a few weeks, probably even a couple months already since these things happened. But the a murder of this 15-year-old kid from the Bronx here in New York, called, or his name was Lesandro Guzman-Feliz. They called him Junior. And he, for those of you that don't know the story, there's videos online. I remember seeing it like literally the next day after it happened. And I saw like the whole thing, and it's these kids in the Bronx that like chase this kid into a bodega and like drag him out, and then they like stab him a bunch of times, and a couple of them had machetes and like hit him with machetes, and then the kid like ran away. Or after they all bounced, this fucking pussies that jump people. After they all run away and bounce, the kid tries to like trek it to the hospital, which is a couple blocks away, but he collapses before getting there, and then like bleeds out and dies. And supposedly it was due to this kid was like banging one of their girls or sisters or ex-girls, or it was something over a girl. And the crazy shit is that the kid that they killed wasn't even the guy that they were looking for. He just looked like him. And the reason why there was like video of the entire thing was because there was surveillance cameras in the bodega on the inside and on the outside as well. And then somebody was video recording like the whole thing from like the roof or like a higher up floor on their phone, instead of like calling the cops. And this whole shit was sad. As soon as I saw it, also the first thing that jumped into my mind was that it was the Trinitarios gang, because I remember I used to watch like a lot of different like gang videos, and just used to wind up in like YouTube wormholes of different organized crime cultures, like whether it be like the Italian and Russian mafia, or the Mexican mafia, MS-13, and then more locally like Latin Kings and Bloods and Nietas and skinheads and like jail culture. And they're fascinating cultures and like groups, not in a good way, but definitely fascinating. And I remember seeing this gang called Trinitarios, where it was mainly Dominicans, if not all Dominicans, and their stronghold is in like the Bronx and Washington Heights, and they rival with like Latin Kings and Bloods and territory shit. But their thing was like they, if I remember correctly, wear green, like lime green, but their thing was having machetes. And as soon as I saw like them take out machetes and like they were hacking at this kid with machetes, like I remembered, I was like, oh shit, and it's in the Bronx, yeah, that's those motherfuckers. And it's sad. Obviously, somebody died. I think it was like 5 or 6 of them, and then it wound up being like 9 or 12 people that were involved, like the shot callers and the people that actually committed the murder. Like they all wound up getting like caught, and it's like all their lives are over. You know what I mean? Like the kid obviously that died, the family that lost a son, and then all those kids that's it. They're going to jail for life. Fucking 19, 20, 18, 17, 16-year-olds, whatever they were. And it's just sad. And the dude or the chick like recording it from the roof, it's kind of telling to how generation now, or this younger generation, which makes me feel like an old man, like even saying that, and probably older generations used to say that about like our generation. But I mean, whatever, it's the position that I'm in, right? This generation is like so desensitized to things, where one, even seeing something like that, you like record it to like post it online, to like post it on WorldStar. And 2, where the kids involved in that act, not that murders and like gang violence and shit like that didn't always exist, because it has. And maybe now it's just more prevalent because people are capturing it on video and stuff like that, and that's definitely part of it. But I just feel like this like, killing is no longer like the nuclear option like before. Like, at least like gang violence and little cliques and stuff like that, like back in when I was in high school and shit. And that's like the era that you go through. Like, you're more, that type of shit is more in your face because kids are, you know, more impressionable, and, you know, it's a known fact that gangs and cliques and shit prey on junior high school and high school kids because of that fact that they're more impressionable and they don't have anything going for them, and that's how they recruit people, etc. But like, the big thing when I was in school was getting jumped. Like, you get jumped, like punched and kicked, and you get stomped out. Like, that was a big thing. Like, oh, you got knocked down and then they stomped you out. Like, that type of shit. Or like shooting the fair, where it's like one-on-one. Like getting robbed, like that type of shit. But like somebody getting killed or something like that, that was like a nuclear option type of thing. You know, like that's how it was viewed. That's why that's how it was like thought of. But like now I feel like it's no longer a nuclear option. That's just like one of the options. Like, I feel like just as easily as a kid could like get jumped, is like just as easy as he could get shot, just as easy as he could get stabbed, just as easy. It's just like one other thing. Like, oh, you know, my tool belt of like 5 options: punch him, shoot him, stab him, spit in his face. I'll pick stab him today. You know, like it just feels like very watered down in terms of an option. And again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just because, like I said, it's you see it more now because of technology and shit. But I don't know. That's just the general feeling I get, and it's fucking sad, yo. The bodeguero, the owner of the bodega, got a lot of shit, and people say that he should have helped, because like in the surveillance footage you see him like running in, and he tries to like go behind the counter, and the guy pushes him out, and then when the other guys come in, which at that point, you know, somebody runs in your store and tries to jump behind, you're like, yo, what the fuck? You don't know what's going on. And at that point, I wasn't with the criticism of the bodeguero. And I don't even know if I am, because I wasn't there. I don't know the story. Some people say that he was involved, that he knew the gang guys, and it was all planned, or some like conspiracy theory type shit. But just from the standpoint of what I could see in the surveillance video, you know, somebody runs in and tries to jump over the counter to behind where I'm at. It's like, of course I'm going to tell you, you know, get the fuck out. Like, I don't know what's going on. But then when they come to the guys that like jump him and stab him, come into the bodega, and they start like pulling him and like dragging him out, the bodeguero guy looks like he's helping them, but I don't know if he's like just trying to get everybody the fuck out of his store type of thing, or what. But the criticism is, you know, you see, you know, 5 or 6 people like jumping a kid, a 15-year-old, even though he looked older. He looked like 18 or 17. He looked just as old as the guys that were jumping him, which are probably all around the same age anyway. I don't know what their exact ages were, but he was 15 and looked a bit older. But the criticism was, why didn't he help? They said he could have stopped it if he intervened. And from his point of view, you know, he sees these dudes with like knives and, you know, gangster kids and machetes and shit, and should he have helped? I don't know. How? I heard a story that he has a gun in the bodega. Definitely, if he did, it's kind of like, yeah, you probably could have pulled out the gun and like scared everybody away type of thing. And if it's true that he had a gun there, probably would have done that and called the cops immediately so they could come like settle shit down. But I don't know. I mean, I wasn't there. It's easy to like pass judgment when you're not there, you're not in going through the situation. But that said, I would like to think that if I was in that situation, I don't know how I would have reacted if I didn't like have a gun or anything like that, and somebody, you know, crazy shit, just brawl breaks out in my store. But if I had a gun, I would like to think that, you know, let a shot off maybe, or or just pull it out to like scare everybody and get everybody to stop and maybe kick him out the store that way, then, you know, call the cops. That'll be like the quickest, like, first thing. And maybe that's like the biggest criticism for that. Like, I don't know if he did that soon enough. I don't even know if he did call the cops, or maybe he did. Maybe he called them like right after. I don't know. So I'm speculating on all that other stuff, but just from the surveillance videos, it's like, I don't know. It could go either way. I understand both sides of the criticism there.